Hey, good morning, friends. This is MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. Snow is falling across much of Michigan this morning. Temperature's about 33, 34 degrees, 32 to 34. So it's cold enough that it's pretty close to sticking and is sticking on the grass in a lot of spots. Now we have to remember that even though we don't believe it here in Michigan, we still have that orange ball in the sky, and we still have the warmest temperatures of the day to come. So the temperatures will warm up a couple of degrees, 35, 36, 37 in a lot of places. And as that happens, we'll see the snow have a little bit tougher time sticking. So let's get to it. Hey, Michelle Cork just named me Meteorologist of the Year. Wow. Do I get a plaque or something? So let's get to it and show you what's going on. First off, winter weather advisories in the purple, and that's for the western half of lower Michigan, let's say. And you know, I want to talk to you about something. When you see a change from winter weather advisories to no winter weather advisories and just kind of a line, sometimes it doesn't mean that the weather is going to be a whole lot different in those two places. It's a different weather service office, and unfortunately they still have kind of slightly different philosophies. This is Grand Rapids office here. This is Gaylord office. This is the Detroit office. So you're going to have about the same snow, a little less in the east. So I think it's warranted that it's not a winter weather advisory, a little more in the west. But sometimes that's the question I get asked. And then this is a winter storm warning in effect for the western part of the UP. Here's current radar. And yeah, socked in by precipitation. This is pretty much all snow. It does happen every year. I don't think that folks are really taking this and going crazy at all. It's a novelty that it is the first snow. Okay, so here's your snow. This is your bigger flakes in the green, and there are some breaks in it and we'll show that to you right now on the radar forecast, okay? So we are into 9 o'clock here. The darker blues, the bigger flakes, heavier snow into the eastern part of the state. 11 o'clock, starting to dry out in the southwest corner, but snow still going, and you can see how the model kind of indicates that temperatures get borderline a little bit in places and change to kind of a rainy type snow. This is 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. So again, you're starting to see a little bit of a trending toward a rain mixing in there. 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. So as we get to the evening, the southern lower, the road should improve, I would think. Hey, Shannon, got all the leaves picked up last night. And you know what? I did the same thing too. And boy, I'll tell you what, I'm not a fan of the time change. It just gives you no time to do anything in the afternoon and evening when you get done with work. Let's just leave the clocks alone. No reason for it, right? Okay, so we go through the night tonight. We're at 9 o'clock, and the snow system is winding down, and then the colder air will come in, and the lake effect will develop for tomorrow. Snowfall totals. Let's show you. Let's go to by tomorrow morning, okay? So again, there's going to be some melting here, but let's call it a 1 to 3 inch snow, I think is a good way to call it. Now you get up into Leelanau County, northwest lower, where it's colder, some lake enhancement. I would call it a 3 to 6 inch snow, leaning more on the 3 and 4 than the 5 and 6. Yeah, leave the time change. Hey, remember it was like on a ballot before, or they were talking about changing that? I can't remember. This was some years ago. We were going to vote to not change the clocks or something like that. Now let's summarize. We have recreational marijuana vote that we can vote on, but we can't get something that says just leave the clocks alone. And I'm starting to notice, I don't know about you, but I'm starting to notice as I get older, the spring forward messes with me for a couple of days because of the loss of sleep. Okay? All right. So here you see the snowfall forecast. As you get up into the UP, this is where the heavy stuff is. This is where the foot plus snows. Okay? And let's go through into Saturday, and the models really don't add much on as far as lake effect goes. Okay, temperatures. I wanted to show you this. Here they are. And like I said, as we go to this afternoon, you start to get some 34s and 35s, 36s, 37s by late afternoon. So there will be some melting going on today, and I would imagine some melting on the roads. Here's the extended model. Our storm. Oh, okay. Voted on it. Yeah, that's right. Somebody told me about that. Voted on it in the 60s or something like that. Voted on it. It was voted down by 500 votes, but Lansing overruled our vote. 1962. Okay, well, let's revisit it. It's a little different from 1962. So here's Saturday. And then watch what happens. Okay, we get into Sunday. It quiets down. Here we go again. And that's a snowstorm. Okay, this is the American model. The European model is about 100 miles back to the northwest, getting into the Detroit area and far southeast. So you may have another snow about Tuesday in the southeast. Then the cold air comes down again, lake effect snow, and you're saying, uh-oh, are we in it for good? No, I don't think so. This will melt off. When we get to a pattern like this, we start to get a southerly wind, and I'll leave you with one thing here. The 6 to 10 day forecast, temperature-wise, it is blue, 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 but the 8 to 14 day forecast is back to normal with warmth building to the west. That is November 18th to the 22nd. So it looks like there's going to be warming. Okay, so some folks are asking, how many inches for Gaylord tonight and tomorrow? Gaylord, I would call it a solid 3 to 4 inches, maybe 5, maybe 6. Yes, everybody's saying vote no on the time change. Hey, let's get that going. Let's talk to somebody and see how we get that on a ballot. It's time, right? Okay. What are you thinking for Thanksgiving? I'm thinking that as we get to Thanksgiving, that's when the slightly warmer air starts to come in. So right now, I would say that we'd be not as wintry as we are, okay? So there you have it. We've got snow today. It'll act like rain a little bit as we go in through the afternoon and get a couple of degrees warmer. Heading north, it's snowy, and it will melt. My little headline teased you, said, will it stay till April? No, it won't. We have to remember that our normal highs, our average highs now, are still in the 40s, and once we get out of this cold spell, we'll have some 38s, we'll have some 40, maybe 45 degrees. It'll take care of the snow at some point. Driving to Cleveland from Jackson this afternoon, will roads be bad? I would say no, because I would say that's the warmest part, and as you go to the east, they're in a little bit warmer air. We're in the snow section of the storm, so as you go to the east, you would be a little bit warmer. Gage Speaks wants to know about the Ann Arbor area. I would call it a 1 to 3 inch snow in Ann Arbor, and it would be through the afternoon and into the early evening hours, and then it would all be over with. Vote no on the time change. Yes, everybody is like that. The deer, I've seen a lot of really heavy coats, a lot of fat. Does that mean anything? People say it does. I've never seen a scientific way from a scientist to say, oh, it's these deer are fat or these squirrels are fat or anything is fat. Most people are always convinced that the animals are fat going into winter, and so it's going to be terrible. I've never heard somebody come up to me and say, wow, I saw a deer and it had no fat on it. I'll bet you it's going to be a mild winter. How do you like living in Frankenmuth? Excellent. We can walk everywhere, sidewalks, and we got a great neighborhood and some neighbors and smaller yard. I don't have to mow 3 acres, so like it a lot. There's your forecast. Have yourselves a great weekend. I'll try to keep you updated if there's any weather changes. Make sure to share this once it posts, and stay safe on this first snowy Friday.